Hey everybody, welcome. Welcome to Lessons from the Cockpit. I'm Belinda Sandor. Let's get started. Hey everybody, welcome. Welcome. I keep getting this error message when I go live about Twitter, and it always throws me off. I have to fix that. But anyway, I'm thrilled you're here. Welcome. Welcome to Lessons from the Cockpit. For those of you joining for the first time, I'm Belinda Sandor. I am the founder of the VA Connection, where I help new and established virtual assistants really create more than the business of their dreams, but the life that they have always wanted to live. And today's topic is really about that. It's about living your life from a place of being switched on. And it's a concept that was relatively new to me and one that a neighbor brought up. And we're going to dive into that. But I'd love to hear where you're coming in from. So I see George is here and Heather. And we have a brand new student. I want to make sure I pronounce her name right. I actually wrote it down. Tell me how I do. Sisea. Tammy, Able Virtual Assistants. Frederica is here. Hello. All right, great. And Nancy just joined us. All right, so today we're going to talk about this whole concept of being switched on. And if you haven't thought about it yet, it's going to be a light bulb moment, I think. It really was a light bulb moment for me. And Kathy has joined us, and Jane, that's awesome. It really was a light bulb moment. And I love light bulb moments because it's like when I get a new perspective, it seems like everything shifts. Like, oh, that's what the world looks like when I think about it this way. And so it's very empowering. So this is my daughter, Emily, in 2010 when I was just starting my VA business. And it wasn't where I wanted to be. What I wanted was to be able to work from home. I wanted to have time flexibility. I wanted to have a happy marriage. I wanted to be a homeowner. I wanted my life to be built around things that were important to me, like being a good mom, being a Girl Scout leader, things like that. And I wasn't able to have that life when I was in corporate. And I had to make some changes in my life. I had a business that failed pretty publicly. And the result was I had a lot of debt and I had a lot of things I had to handle, and I was getting divorced. So it's kind of like ground zero here, like, okay, here we go. And so I had to make some decisions about what I was going to do and how I was going to shift my life. And the thing about it was I felt lost. And it's so cliche, right? I'm 50 years old and I feel lost, but I felt lost. I felt like there was no anchor, and I was just reacting to everything. Like, I'll do this. And finally one day I just had to stop and say, no, we're going to listen to you, meaning me, and figure out what did I want? What did I want? Not what did my sister-in-law, my brother, my mother, my best friend, her husband, whatever, not what they thought. And I started listening to myself, and I decided that I wanted to do admin work. And there was some judgment about that. Well, you've had these big jobs. Why would you do that? Well, because I really like it. And I thought I could make a good living at it. And I also thought that, and I believed, and it was true, that I could do this working from home and meet the other parts of my life that I wanted to have be a certain way. And so I started telling everyone that I knew about this. And my first client I got at the school bus stop. Standing around, the dads are saying to me, what's new? And I thought, okay, take a risk. And I said, I started this new business. Now I have no clients. I don't have a name. There's no business card, but I started a new business. I probably didn't even have a business bank account yet, right? And he was interested. He had started his own company a couple months before. I had no idea. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have told him, which is crazy, right? And or I would have been all weird about it, trying to sell him. And so I just told him about it, and he hired me. And then my next client, I'm at a wedding, I'm in the buffet line, and I'm making chit chat with a man and his wife. And I tell him about this idea. I tell him I have one client, and he's like, that's very interesting. And he gave me his card. I didn't have a card, and I connected it with him on LinkedIn. And I don't really know how long, but a few weeks, like not a really long amount of time went by, and he contacted me. And I started working with him, and I still work with him today. He's become a good friend. He's a colleague, and he's referred me to lots and lots of people and really helped me get my business going. So you really don't know where your clients are going to come from. And we waste a lot of time prospecting. We waste a lot of time prospecting, trying to figure out, well, they need me, or I saw a mistake on their website, instead of just telling everyone and having the people who want virtual assistants to come rushing into you. Right? That's really how it works. That's really how it works. So I want to tell you the results I was able to, the results that I had from doing this. I worked with over 225 clients. I have under my belt 20,000 billable hours doing client work, and earned over $1 million. So the first year I was in business, I earned $70,000. And for the next 10 years, I earned $100,000 a year as a virtual assistant. And sometimes people ask me, is that training virtual assistants, or is that, doing other work? No, it's working with clients, doing their virtual assistants work. And looking back now at back then, I never thought this would be possible. I never thought I would be where I am today. And everything has shifted. And at the core of it was I started listening to myself. I got a coach. I found a mentor. I had guidance. I had a roadmap for how to get where I wanted to go. And I took myself seriously in a way that I'm not sure I ever had before. And so fast forward, this is 2 years ago. This is my brand new husband. Well, he's getting a little dust on him. I've had him now for about 3 years, but this is our wedding day. These are our children. And it was an amazing day. It was an amazing day. I was there for my daughter as she grew up. And I have to say, it is paying off unbelievably. She got her dream job yesterday. She's going to be a veterinary assistant at a big giant hospital in New Hampshire, close to Boston, which is great because her dad lives there. And just over the moon. She and her boyfriend and some roommates are looking for apartments, and she sent them to me today. They're lovely. And this morning, her boyfriend got the job that he wanted. He got an acceptance letter. So, it's just so rewarding to have this really good relationship. Like Emily and I, we're not best friends. I'm her mother. Like that is the role, but we are so close. And I'm her first call, and I just feel like, it's because I was there. It's because I was there. Yeah, congratulations to Emily. She is crushing it. She is just crushing it. And I have to tell you, in March or April, we were not crushing it. We were like, oh no, what are we going to do? And there was a very different thing going on for her. And I think she leaned into it. And it's like I texted her a little while ago. I'm like, it's all coming up roses. It's all coming up roses, and it's really good. And so here I am, with this great relationship with my daughter, a thriving business, a marriage that is so important to me in a way that I didn't even know was possible. And it's been amazing. And at the core of it was me taking charge of what was going on in my life, because I wasn't. I was living somebody else's dream. I was definitely living someone else's dream. And I dared to even push another button and get clear that I wanted Greg and I to be homeowners. And we bought a house in this lovely community. I can't even tell you. I was going for a walk yesterday. One of the neighbors comes out. He's like, come here. My figs are all over the trees. Go get something to put your figs in. And, it's like, everybody just takes care of each other here. And they said that to us before we moved here. And I was like, yeah. What does that mean? That's what it means. It means, can I drive you somewhere? It means, can I come over to your house? I want to teach you how to preserve the blueberries. If you don't know, I've been picking thousands of pounds of blueberries. It's just lovely. And we're here. And it's way beyond what I thought was possible. And it all started when I started to get clear and take action on what I wanted. So And for those of you who are new, it's interesting because the biggest problem when I was turning 50 and going through all this was I thought it was too late. That was the limiting belief. It's too late. It's too late. And at 63, I'm telling you, it's not too late. It is not even close. It's amazing. So I just sort of crack up when I hear people say, I'm turning 40. And I'm like, oh my gosh, 40s. The 40s were awesome. 50s? Oh my gosh. And 60s are just over the moon. So let's dive into this topic. All right, let's dive into this topic. So this whole concept of being switched on or switched off. So this is a true story. So I was walking down the street. I walk usually 4 miles a day if we don't go on a bike ride. And there was someone that I saw this woman walking, and I'd heard about her. And neighbors had told me, oh, there's, she's coming. She's been in Asia. She's coming home, and you'll see her, and you'll meet. You guys will love each other. So one day I'm walking and I see this woman with dark hair coming toward me, and I'm like, that's her. It's got to be her. And I said to her, is it your name? And she said, yes. Are you Belinda? I said, yes. And like, we finally meet. This is really cool. Everybody's been telling us, that blah, blah. So we start talking, and she's asking me about what's going on. So I tell her, we moved. I have this community that I love. I teach women how to be successful entrepreneurs, all the things, tell her about Emily. And she made this comment that I didn't really catch until later. So you know how that goes? Sometimes someone will say something to you and you're like, it's like the conversation keeps going. And then later when I got home, this phrase that she said to me stuck out. And I thought, I love that. So what she said to me was, she's like, oh, wow, you're really switched on. And I remember standing in the kitchen thinking, I am switched on. And I thought, how great is that? I am switched on, meaning, I'm being deliberate about what I'm doing. I'm in a supportive marriage. Our kids are, most of them, on the right track. I take time to explore my interests. It's like, I feel satisfied. I feel satisfied, and I am definitely switched on. And it hasn't always been this way for me. It hasn't always been this way, but I'm going to talk about 5 things that you can do to get switched on, because I have to tell you, a switched on life is very powerful. It's very powerful. So the first thing you want to do is you want to take I have to out of your vocabulary. When you use that language, you give up all of your power. Okay. So when you say, I have to do something, you don't actually have to do anything, right? And sure, doing certain things like not paying your taxes have consequences, but ultimately you decide your actions, so try reframing your mindset. Okay. I get to, I want to. All right. And I get to, it's interesting. It's like, so let's say you've got a bunch of weeds in the garden. And you're like, I have to weed the garden. It's like, well, actually, I get to. I'm healthy enough to get on my knees. I have a garden. Right? I'm making it more beautiful. I want to do this. I chose this, which is a very different outlook to live your life. So definitely try that. I also want you to take action. If you haven't quit the job that you hate, start taking action toward this, or the fill in the blank, whatever it is, where you live, your job, your friendships, whatever it is that needs to shift for you. I want you to get busy thinking about what you could do when it comes to your job, instead of commuting to a job that you don't like, working with people who make you crazy. And for me, it was becoming a virtual assistant, because I love to learn new things. I love to solve problems. I love working from home, and I was able to replace my 6-figure income, by year 2. So get into action. A lot of people said to me, oh my gosh, you guys found the house so fast. That was amazing. It took 13 years. I had to repair my credit. Greg had to sell a house he owned with his former wife. I had to get into a tax situation with the IRS and pay down my taxes. We needed to handle the credit cards. There was a lot of things, student loans, a lot of things that had to happen that literally took 13 years. So if you want to leave your job and change your financial situation, it isn't like snap your fingers, and I get that. And if you don't get into action and take the first steps, it won't happen, right? It just won't happen. And to be switched on, you have to be proactive. Like, okay, what am I going to do? Now, the other thing that I have found has been amazing in terms of getting switched on is I pursue hobbies that excite me. Nothing. I love hanging out with the chickens. We built them a corral this weekend. We have a lot of foxes, and I wanted them to have a place to free range when I'm out there with them, where they're corralled. So we built this hunt. We took 150 feet of chicken wire, hooked it on posts, and they have this safe place to go. But hanging out with them, giving them treats, learning everything I can about chickens, I love that. And now my new thing is blueberries. We have these 3 giant blueberry bushes in our front yard, and I have been picking blueberries for a minimum of an hour or more every day. We have more than 100 pounds of blueberries in our freezer. I'm giving them away like crazy. I'm meeting new people, giving them away. But it's something that's really nice. I go out in the front yard, I put an audible book in my head. It's very meditative, and I'm just picking blueberries. And it's kind of like, I like to compete with myself. I'm not competitive with other people, but it's like, how many blueberries can I pick today? And it's a lot of fun. So make sure you're doing activities and using your brain in a way that brings you pleasure, right? We all have time for it. We just have to, stop watching TV or stop scrolling, or what do they call that? The doom scroll, so definitely think about that. Now, here's one. This was kind of a big deal. I switched who my friends were. Not all of them, but a lot of them. And it was circumstance. It was moving to Connecticut. Now it's sort of moving here, has changed some things. But the truth is that I wanted to be friends with people who are what I call up to something. Like, they were thinking about them. People who were switched on, right? People who were switched on. And I've made really awesome friends online that I've met in person, that I'm very connected to, who have been so supportive of me, and I've been supportive of them. It's amazing. And it's amazing to be in that energy where people are like, of course you're, I texted my coach when our Facebook community reached 50,000 members. I said, can you believe it? She's like, yeah, I can believe it. I'm like, okay, boom, and just putting that out there, it's very exciting. And then the last thing, and we hear this a lot, like wah wah, but it's really true. Count your blessings. Take time to reflect on all the successes in your life. Keep a gratitude journal and make it a practice. And I don't write it down, but here's what I do. I'll sit down, all right, so today, Emily texted me that her boyfriend received a job offer, right? And she told me she did yesterday. So I just go into the kitchen and I say to Greg, oh my gosh, she put her mind to it. She got this job. She had 2 job offers. She got to choose. She got the exact job that she wants in this amazing brand new animal hospital. She's moving to a town in New Hampshire that I feel so comfortable with. I love this little town. I would move there in a minute. Mac has a job that he cannot wait to get his teeth into, which is a really big deal. And and these apartments they're looking at, and it's so exciting. And you can feel my energy, right? Like, I am just like over the moon. And so it will probably be a few days before I stop talking about this specific thing. I'll bring it up at dinner. Like this last night, we had this whole conversation. I said, did I show you the actual text that she sent me? He's like, no, let me see. So you just want to relive these things. And it's important to do. We do it on Sundays. I try to do it at dinner, where I'll say, what did we do this weekend? And I'll recap it, because it's easy to feel like we didn't do anything or we didn't have any fun. So it really is important to replay the video, right? Yeah. I'm just reading what David is saying. It sounds like David's still stuck. All right, so here's what I want you to do, David. What I want you to do is I want you to go over to our YouTube channel, and I want you to start watching some videos over there. There's about 800 videos. And we are, all right, so this is not set up, right? So do not go here, all right? Do not go here yet. But this will be set up in the next week or so. Sometime in August or early September, we are going to do a 5-day live training on specifically how to get clients. So lean into that, all right? Lean into the YouTube channel. There's a whole section of videos specifically on getting clients. But mostly what I want you to do is tell everyone you know. Every single solitary person you know. So thanks for saying that. All right. And if you, for those of you who can't see the comments, David's coming in from LinkedIn. All right. Now let's just, all right. So I would love to hear how this is resonating for you. You know, we all occasionally turn our switches off. It's human nature, right? We get tired, we get fill in the blank, but we also have the power to get back on track. Living the life that you want happens one action, one thought at a time. So don't wait for a sign. Don't wait for a reason. Bring happiness back into your life. All right. Make it happen now. All right. I'm Belinda Sandor signing off for today. I'll see you soon.